Sport with Kevin Bartlett.
Hi KB, have a great Christmas and a very happy New Year. Don't forget, drive safely, enjoy time with your family, and I'll be back in 2013 with more Hungry for Sport on January the 14th.
Hungry for Sport, 9 till midday weekdays on 1116 SEN, Melbourne's home of sport. This is Betstars and Stripes with Dr. Turf, Ed Wyatt and Alice Gander.
Yes, welcome back to Betstars and Stripes. It is the full house, the full panel in 0433 98 11 16 off the SMS. Betstar will be betting live on the Boxing Day test over the phone. Call 1300 Betstar to get the best live odds for the summer of cricket. Al, you're about to take us through the best bets for the NFL weekend. Of course, it all starts at 5 a.m. Tomorrow morning. And if you like your Premier League like I do, you'll be pulling through and watching the lot.
You'll still be awake. Yeah, we'll go through all the games that are going to be telecast so that we can, or broadcast, so we can watch them and we can talk about them. We've got live 1HD at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, as you mentioned, Teo. We've got the Bengals, who are 5 out of the last 6, I think, and you've got Pittsburgh, who have lost 4 out of their last 5. Cincinnati are $2.70 into $2.60. Pittsburgh are playing at home. They're $1.49 out to $1.52. The line is a flat 3 there, and the totals, the overs and unders are 42.5 points.
And Pittsburgh have to win.
Yeah.
He had a shocker, Roethlisberger, last week.
Playing for their life, aren't they? Really?
I've got a curly question off the SMS from Kristen Lilydale. If the Bengals and Ravens are equal on wins and split 1-1 head-to-head, who will take the division? I wouldn't know off the top of my head who's got the tiebreaker, which is strength of schedule, isn't it?
There's a million. Yeah, you get down the tiebreaker list, and they have a whole organized list. There's about 30 things that you go. There's games within your division, I think, and your conference, that aspect. So we probably should look at those tiebreakers as the season comes down, Teo. That's a very, very good question from Chris. Look, this is one, just from my gut, I think the Steelers win this one.
Yeah,
I just think this is the thing. The Bengals have proven over the years that they've sort of wilt when the going gets tough, and the Steelers have a tendency to play well. So that's my only reason for thinking Pittsburgh wins that.
Very quickly, within a division, head-to-head, best one-loss tied percentage within the division, best one-loss tied in common games, best one-loss tied percentage within the conference, strength of victory, strength of schedule, and there's another 6 points after that.
There you go.
So Kristen Lilydale, put NFL tiebreakers into Google.
Good job,
and
Teo.
you can read the lot for yourself.
Live Fox Sports 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We've got the Vikings, who are 8-6. They're $3.90 out to $4.10. They take on the Texans. They've been backed from $1.27 into $1.25. The line is 7.5 points. Overs and unders are 45.
Look, Vikings continue to confound me, continue to hang in there. My famous quote was, if they finish 8-8, they'll have a successful season. Well, they're 8-6. And if they can somehow win this thing,
they
go
got next week?
9-6. I'm not sure they got next week, but they're in
Because they won't
the
beat
hunt.
Houston.
I don't think they win it either. I think Houston's too good. But how good has Adrian Peterson been?
Yeah.
We talked about him last week
And
as an MVP candidate.
he
He's doing
keeps
it every
delivering.
week. Yeah.
I'd love to see a receiver as opposed to a quarterback win that.
He'd be great. Peterson's been fantastic.
Home against the Packers in their final game, Doc.
So
Right.
you're 8-8.
Right. It could be all right.
Yeah, I think you might be safe
Could be.
there.
Could
There's a
be.
matter of interest talking about what time the games are on and what channel they're on. Is there any danger of Foxtel actually? I mean, the games never finish when you.
No.
You've actually got to tape the next program.
You do, yeah.
It is
It's a big
unbelievable.
problem, isn't it? Yeah.
It's every game. It's not
Yeah.
just.
You're right. It goes over now. The games are getting longer every year, so you're right.
What is that? Is that? It's not just
TV, it's replays, it's teams using the full 30 seconds. There's a whole lot of things that go into it.
Live on Fox Sports, 8:05 tomorrow morning. We've got the Cleveland Browns, $7.20, taking on Denver. Denver are on an 8-game winning streak.
Yeah.
They're $1.12 into $1.10. On a side note, they're $7.50 into $6 to win the Super Bowl. So they are on fire in all markets. The line in this game against the Browns is 12.5 points, and the overs and unders are 44 points flat.
Big line, as Doc says, to avoid that, and I agree. I probably wouldn't look at that line, but I can't see Cleveland beating Denver.
No.
I think Denver's in pretty good shape. They're playing very, very well. Manning is it's just great to watch him out there and the way he operates that team. It's really, really fun to watch.
Live on 1HD, 8:15 tomorrow morning. I mean, this game's going to be vital for the playoffs. This is probably the game of the round. You've got the Giants favourites here. They've been $1.73 and they've been backed into $1.69. So there's been plenty of money for the Giants. They take on the Ravens in Baltimore. They're $2.22. The line has moved from flat 1 point to 2.5 points, and the overs and unders are 47 points flat.
Yeah, well, Giants.
Ravens have lost 3 in a row.
And
it's
how the Giants
amazing
last
with
week?
the Giants rolling in. I tell you what, you wouldn't want to be Baltimore. I mean, they fired the offensive coordinator last week, and then they came out and lost again. They've got some real issues. So luckily, as I said earlier, they've had that big lead. So they've still got a 1-game lead over Cincinnati in the division. The Giants, the real battle is going to be in that NFC East, where you've got the Giants, Dallas, and Washington. And the schedule, if you look at the schedule, it's fascinating. The Giants go to Baltimore, then they host Philadelphia. So, you figure that Philly's probably a win.
Philly, yeah.
The Redskins go to Philly and then host Dallas. And then Dallas has got New Orleans and at Washington. So some real intriguing battles between those 3 teams that are all on the same record.
Jason from Mitchum's theory is that the longer games are because the QBs are throwing and the running backs aren't as deep. So
yeah, there's more throwing. Yeah, agreed.
Just on throwing.
Well, you know what's interesting? We just throw a little education in here. The reason they stopped the clock in the old days is because when you threw a pass and it took a long time to bring the actual football back. They had 1 football. Now they get 100. It's really an archaic rule. There's no real reason to stop the clock when there's an incomplete pass, really.
On passing, Joe Flacco, Baltimore's defense was what was banged up, not their offense. I mean, is he losing ground by the second here, or
he's getting a lot of heat, Teo? I know that from reading the Baltimore newspapers and websites. He's getting a lot of heat there, and there's some real questions about him. But yeah, it's a good question. I mean, he does seem to go through these periods where he looks great and periods where he looks pretty ordinary. So hopefully he can turn it around if you're a Ravens fan.
There's no way they'll, just going back to what we were talking about before, there's no way they'll change to try and speed the game up.
Of course
None
not.
whatsoever.
No,
Because
that's right.
the networks control
Of course.
everything. Yeah.
It's like contraction.
They would
People say,
love
let's
it.
cut a few teams out. It's not going to happen. Let's shorten the schedule. It's just not good. That stuff's not going to happen.
The NRL's been looking at ways for the last 20 years to extend their games and to be able to squeeze ad breaks in
I
there.
love that last year. Wasn't that tiny little, like every time there was some sort of play the ball, they're going to sneak in a little 15-second ad or something. Very funny.
Live on ESPN at 12:15 p.m. Monday, being tomorrow. I mean, this mark's been thrown on its ear as well, by the way. Justin Smith's got an elbow injury. It's a defensive end for the 49ers. So this market's turned around. San Francisco were favourites of this game before this injury. They were $1.87 and the Seahawks were $1.97. 49ers out to 2.06. Seahawks now favourite $1.78. The line is 1.5. The overs and unders are 39 points.
Can I tell you, people are already pouring beverages in Seattle for this game. They are already. This is the most anticipated Seahawks game in years. Tune in to watch this thing because the crowd, if you haven't seen it at CenturyLink Field, the clink, as they call it, is out of control.
Just to run that fake punt play by us last week.
Pete Carroll, second week in a row. We
When
talked
they were-
about running up the score. What was it, 47
They were
to
up
7 or
30,
something?
I think.
And he ran a fake punt. He said it was already
and
in.
it backfired.
He said it was already in the playbook. It was in they were going to try it, and he sort of forgot that it was in there or something like that. So, but Pete Carroll has had a history. I mean, there was a very famous post-game handshake between him and Jim Harbaugh, the coach of the 49ers. And this is a great little matchup here when they play against each other because Harbaugh was at Stanford and Carroll was at USC. And something had transpired in the game, and at the end of the game, Harbaugh came out, shook his hand, and said, "What's your deal?" Said, "Hey man, what's your deal?" And there was like a real sort of tense moment, and then they moved on from that. So Carroll's got a little bit of a history in terms of these potential running up the score, strange plays kind of things.
is there actually something in the architecture of CenturyLink Field, or is it simply a matter of pride of place, we are the number one fan base and we have a reputation to uphold? Or is there actually something in the way that they built the grandstand
It does
that
seem that
makes
way.
it echo the way it does?
It does seem that way, Teo. When you look at the end zone, it kind of goes up in this sort of this V-shaped thing, and it's very noisy there. But they do take pride in it. They have that 12th man thing where they run up a flag, the 12th man flag, and they get a local celebrity or somebody who is the 12th man every week, and he comes out and the place just goes nuts. And whoever it is, whether it's a baseball football player or somebody, a musician, runs the 12th man flag up the pole and everyone goes nuts. So a little bit of both, but it is, they call it like the home of the false start and things like that because the other teams really struggle to hear.
I mean, clearly they're going to have. I mean, that sounds like an amazing home ground advantage. I still can't help but think that the market's overcorrected a little bit. I mean, if the 49ers were truly a $1.87 chance, Justin Smith coming out surely doesn't take him out to a $2.06 chance. So, I mean, for me, that seems like pretty good value once they start getting to that price.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks seem short enough at $1.78, even though they're at home with the home court advantage.
Yeah, no, I think that's true, Alan. I find that interesting. I mean, I think the 49ers are a better team, but then again, the Seahawks have been proving people wrong all year. Russell Wilson, we talked off air, the rookie quarterback who, I don't want to say was an afterthought. That's the wrong thing to say, but a lot of people had questions about him. He's 5'11", not your prototypical quarterback. He's been great. His statistics are right up there with Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin.
They are.
He's amazing.
If it wasn't for those two, he'd be the headline act.
He would be the headline act. He's been fantastic. So, coupled with that defense, with Marshawn Lynch running, it's a very dangerous football team. I still think the 49ers are better, but are they going to win this? Hard to say.
Well, the Super Bowl market would suggest the 49ers are better. They're now outright favourite to win the Super Bowl. They've gone from $7.50 into $5.50 after beating... who did they play last week?
New England.
New England, that's right.
Yeah, great game.
Oh, what a game.
That was a
the game of
fantastic
the
game.
year.
Can you believe that? You just figured, I think 5 or 7 minutes to play that the Pats were just home.
Oh,
It looked that
They
way,
just
didn't
made
it?
up that margin, had all the momentum, everything, and I think the 49ers got the last 2 scores of the game, didn't they?
And it was special teams. The field position on that kick return, Brady scored on 4 straight possessions.
Yes.
And yet it was a kick return.
Kid from Oregon,
Yeah.
Michael James,
And-
ran that
That's
back
right.
across the...
A kick return gave them the field position to turn the momentum around.
And then a play or two later, it was Crabtree, and he was gone, and that was the game. But what a show by Brady as well.
Yeah.
Just something, this is a blowout, and bang, he's right
3
back in it.
touchdowns in about 5 minutes.
It was incredible.
Unbelievable
I know.
game.
I think I had something on Twitter about how it was great to see the Patriots fans quiet or something. Bang, Brady throws 3 touchdown passes. I look like an idiot.
And it's a game again. Well, the Pats have now blown out. They were $4.50 favourite at one stage during the week. They're out to $6 after that loss. Denver completely on fire. Denver. They've been $7.50 into $6. The Texans $7. The Packers $7.50. Atlanta $8. That's 1, 2, 3,
Cowboys?
4, 5, 6. 6 teams in single digits. Seahawks are $16. Giants are out to $21.
Get on the Giants.
Well, they did the same thing last year, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they
They,
did.
they hit
They
a couple
did.
of hurdles about this time.
Cowboys?
Redskins are 29. Cowboys, I'm glancing down. They're 51 into $41.
They must have been 500 to 1 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. They would have
They
been,
must have been- I
been
got
out
no
of
idea,
ways.
but-
No, they would have been out.
You fancy them or just curious, Doc?
They just keep getting the job done at the minute. They don't seem to be, dominating at any stage in any game, but they just keep winning.
Be a big test against New Orleans this week. It'd be very interesting if they handle New Orleans and take care of business. Then then that's all going to come down to that game at Washington, which should be incredible.
Time to do the shout-out for our Game Pass giveaway. Of course, it is the best prize on Melbourne radio, 9429 1116. Call now. Producer Tim out the back is ready to take your call, 9429 1116. It's a head-to-head Who Am I quiz, and the winner gets a Game Pass of their choice thanks to Ascander's Betstar. And when you bet with Ascander's Betstar, you're betting with a 100% owned Australian and owned and operated company who are committed to looking after the punters' needs. And there are rumours around that Betstar will be bringing back double fixed odds for a race on Boxing Day. Check out the Betstar website on Monday for details. You're listening to Betstars and Stripes, back with plenty more after this short break.
This is Bet Stars and Stripes with Dr. Turf, Ed Wyatt and Alice Gander.
Welcome back to Betstars and Stripes. The full panel in today, Ed White, Dr. Turf and Alice Gander. 0433 98 11 16 to SMS through. Betstar are the home of US sport in Australia, and to celebrate they do have the $2 power lines on all NFL games from 4pm every Sunday. Head to betstar.com.au or betstar.mobi to check them out. Now, we do have our Game Pass giveaway. Quizmaster Alice Gander, you are in position, ready to go.
Fantastic. We've got Todd on the phone from Collingwood. Are you there, Todd?
Oh, he's just dropped off the